terms of what's on the line for Seattle, they're the one if they win. With a loss, they'll be the 5 and headed to either L.A. or Tampa Bay. Or Carolina, I beg your pardon, Tampa Bay. For the Niners, they win, they don't leave home, as I mentioned. If they lose and the Rams beat the Cardinals, they could fall all the way down to the 6, which means they'd have to travel to either Philadelphia or Chicago. So a lot of permutations, but the more straightforward situation in this one, win, and you are the one. Marcus Spears, Jason Kelsey, Ryan Clark, I'm Scott Van Pelt. Fellas, before we pivot our attention to the late game, what we just saw, some of the headlines, Bryce Young answered some questions.
Yep.
I think Panthers fans have some questions about the officiating, a number of calls that went against them. But ultimately, it's Tampa who wins. Might not be good enough. Carolina could lose and still get in if Atlanta were to win. Your thoughts, fellas, quickly on this game.
Well, I think the first thing, Bryce Young showed up, right? That was a huge question coming into this game. It couldn't be on him. And for Tampa, you find a way to win with some of your deficiencies. But now you have to sit back at home and see if the Atlanta Falcons lose this game to the New Orleans Saints.
Yeah. I mean, I liked what I saw from both teams. I thought, like you said, Bryce Young and Carolina fought very hard. They had some things not go their way. I thought Tampa, right from the get-go, they showed a lot of grit and determination, which they had been lacking the last few games.
The effort was there.
It was a great game.
I just don't see a path on how they're going to win week 1 in the playoffs. I know we want to be positive. Either one of them. Either one of them that get in. It just – now, the weather played a factor. I do believe that in this game, and you saw some explosive plays from Bryce and you saw some from Baker. The playmaking and the maturity of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, I think, is what won out. And to your point, Scott, those calls from the refs will be very highly talked about.
That was huge to me. To have a face mask miss, then you get an offensive pass interference, and then on the other side, K. Dotton falls over Scott's feet, and to get that a defensive pass interference, those are tough.
I am very interested to see what they say about the flea flicker, or was it a flea flicker at all? The possession that's lost, at least get 3 points in that situation, most likely, but that ends up in a turnover. Remember, man, Carolina wins this game, they end the playoffs.
Correct.
We still talking about what Tampa needs to happen in this Atlanta and New Orleans game. Carolina is leaving this game with the questions about the refs, but also some self-inflicted wounds in this game, especially that unfortunate turnover.
We saw last week, Atlanta's playing pretty dang good right now.
Yeah, they playing really good, man.
And the Saints are somewhat short-handed, so it's just the path not nearly as direct in the first game as it is in the nightcap, where we know win and you are intently. Did you like that piece?
He was cooking. He was cooking. He cooked.
Man, I hate how good you are at doing that.
It's been a successful season for Sam, undeniably, but the season doesn't end after last week. The yin and yang, second in the NFL in yards per attempt. Chemistry with JSN has been obvious. That turnover number, though, significant. That's the most in the National Football League, and that's the most important thing in the National Football League is possession of the pill. So, fellas, I'm interested in your perspective of this singular game. We talked earlier for Bryce Young, right? What does this game mean? Gigantic for who he is, because he's not yet where Sam is. He hasn't bounced around yet. So what's tonight for Sam Darnold?
Well, I think the first thing, on his Wikipedia, they can change the bio. Right now, the bio reads, well, at least he's not a bust.
Yeah.
If he wins tonight, it can be the Seattle Seahawks can win a Super Bowl because of Sam Darnold. And it's about Sam Darnold understanding the moment, but not becoming the moment, not feeling like I have to prove the entire world wrong tonight in 4 quarters, or that the perception of me will change so much based off of how I play. Go out and be who you've been when this team has won. Go out and be who you were 16 weeks for the Minnesota Vikings, who you've been in the best moments this year. You can't erase the past by what you do in the present, but you can build a different future. And for the Seattle Seahawks, this game is important for this reason. The first reason, everyone in that locker room needs to be able to look at Sam Darnold and go, we can win because of you. But he also needs to be able to walk into this bedroom tonight and look in the mirror and say, they can win because of me.
Yeah, I mean, this is pretty much the last question mark about Sam Darnold, right? Like, he's proven through the regular season, the last couple seasons, that he can be a premier quarterback in this league. It's moments like these that we've still waited for him to turn into that, right? And I think you said it great, RC. When the stars are bright and you're playing these big, meaningful games, sometimes you tend to overdo it. You do uncharacteristic things because you want to try and win the game rather than just going out and doing the same thing you've always done. And I think, if Sam Darnold answers this, there's not a weakness to the Seattle Seahawks team.
That's the thing. Yeah.
But you're playing against a defense that you said the other day can't stop a cold. If you don't, then I think the questions only get louder. And he's got to know that, right? You can't change the past.
It's the most important game of his career.
That's what I mean.
For sure.
And it's because he's playing against a unit that can be had. And if Sam Darnold, the old way that we regard Sam Darnold in big moments show up, everybody will talk about the week prior, Caleb Williams put up a great performance against this team. Can we win with this guy is the worst question that Sam Darnold can have attached to his name. And I always think of it from this standpoint. And we try to tell these guys, like, it's cliche. It's just another game. And, you know, go out and execute and just make the right plays and the right throws. Don't believe for a second Sam Darnold don't want to hang 350 and 4 touchdowns in this game. Because not only does he want to win this game, but Sam Darnold wants to change the perception.
But the other thing is this too, though, Marcus. The thing about these games is the good stuff doesn't feel as good. It's the bad that
stuff.
weighs on you. If he throws for 300 and still throws an interception late, all we're going to focus on is that interception. So he has to make sure if he meets adversity early, he finds a way to play himself out of that.
But I also think this, RC. I think psychologically for Sam Darnold, he knows that there are games after this one, regardless of the outcome.
No matter what. But you don't want to play next weekend, though.
Come on, man. Going into the playoffs, if you've done what you were supposed to do, and you talk about him looking himself in the mirror, a mediocre performance in a win is not going to do anything for the individual. Sam Darnold is what I'm getting at.
You got a Walker Charbonnet combo, too, you can lead on.
He was a big reason why they lost that game last year in Minnesota. I feel like if he comes up and he plays well, that is even – I don't think he has to go for 350 to feel like this is an accomplishment.
I'm embellishing a little bit.
There was a giant fourth quarter in overtime against the Rams a couple of weeks ago that I think started the forward momentum about who he can believe he is. Because you had to beat them for today to mean what it does, and they did. Now, there are significant sort of more than just pocket change incentives that are available out there. I know folks, as we welcome Adam Schefter back in, are always kind of keen to know what's on the line for these guys, Adam. So what do you got for me on Darnold to start?
Well, Scott, it's about reputation, it's about legacy, and it's about money tonight. Let's keep that in mind with Sam Darnold, who has $1.5 million on the line. Let's take a look at it. If he gets 150 passing yards tonight, that's $500,000. 3 passing touchdowns tonight. $500,000 more. And he comes into the game with a 99.2 passer rating. If he finishes it at 100 or above, another 500. So he can make a total of $1.5 million extra tonight against his former 49ers team. He's not the only one. DeMarcus Lawrence needs 2 sacks tonight for $500,000. How much would Swagoo tee off if he had $500,000 on the line for 2 snacks?
I'm putting on the icy hot right now.
That's what I thought. We have one more tonight to watch. In the first game, Rico Dowdle needs 7 total yards for $1 million. What? 1 touchdown for $250,000. He's got $1.25 million on the line. So we got division spots, playoff spots, and a lot of money all coming up here on the line.
Ice up, son. Ice up, son.
Man, everybody is rant over if I'm going to get $1 million. Ain't no way you going to tackle me from 7 yards.
That first run is about to be so aggressive.
So physical.
Bring your own
so physical.